What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another TV Toycast YouTube channel unboxing. As today I'm unboxing the brand new Operation Monster Force Count Dracula. I thought this was such a fun idea for a line, a little G.I. Joe, a little Universal Monsters kind of blending the two worlds. And as soon as they announced that, I thought this was definitely a line I wanted to collect. It's a little on the pricey side, as most people know. I think these retail for about $36.99, $37, somewhere in there. But they are available exclusively, you guessed it, on Big Bad Toy Store. But definitely a fun line. I finally got some of these in the mail. I went back and forth on these a few times, to be totally honest with you, just because the price point is a little high. And when it's a line that you're not necessarily nostalgic for, not necessarily a line that you grew up on, sometimes it's hard to pull the trigger, as it were. But I love the logo here. I love the artwork. The figure looks phenomenal. It was definitely one I was excited to get and one I wanted for the collection. And I got a few of these coming up, so you'll see more Operation Monster Force right here on this channel. But look at this, cool. It's actually the fourth figure in the wave, so I'm not doing these in order, but that's all right. And it says, of course, right there, Count Dracula, really cool. Big Bad Toy Store Workshop. My understanding is these were a bit of a crowdfund in the sense that you had to put your money where your mouth was, as they say, to see if you actually wanted these or wanted to get them. And if enough people put their money out there and were like, yes, I want to get these, then they happened. Otherwise, they didn't. And that's kind of how these went down. So Operation Monster Force, what a roster there. Collect them all. Complete your Operation Monster Force collection at BigBadToyStore.com. I do most of these are still available. A couple of them are up for pre-order because I think the original run sold out, so I think they're still happening. And of course, you can find out more over at FreshMonkeyFiction.com, which is the company that actually is making these. And of course, if you look over there, we've got let's get a little bit closer look. Delta, my goodness. Declan Van Helsing, easy for me to say. Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper, Delta Red Nocturnal Operations Trooper, the Forgotten King, Sleepwalker Heavy Weapons Division, I'm having a hard time reading today, Sleepwalker Crimson Moon Division, and Sleepwalker Obsidian Elite Guardsman. So a lot of really cool figures. That, of course, doesn't include Count Dracula, who's here. But it says a little excerpt on him, so we'll read it here. Once a sorcerer pharaoh whose reign was so vile his name was erased from Egyptian history, the Forgotten King pursues a sinister agenda, gathering mythical artifacts from around the world for some unknown purpose. Every soldier sent to stop him is killed and reanimated into an undead zombie that is under the Forgotten King's command. Sounds pretty wild if you ask me. Worried the Forgotten King's reign of terror will not be able to be stopped, the military enlists the help of monster hunter Declan Van Helsing. Seeing no other option, Declan goes against the Van Helsing's family wishes and opens Tomb 13, freeing the world's most powerful vampire, Count Dracula. His rationale: it may take a monster to bring down a monster, and so Operation Monster Force is formed. Under Dracula's direction, a unique vampire strike unit is created called Delta Red, whose undead condition makes them immune to the Forgotten King's powers. It's a race against time for Dracula and Van Helsing to discover the Forgotten King's hidden lair and destroy him before his mysterious plan reaches completion. Well, if that doesn't get you excited, maybe you don't have a pulse. And if that's the case, maybe you should be joining Operation Monster Force. I can't help myself. But no, I really like the packaging here, kind of the NECA style with the book here. You get a little comic strip. I'm not going to read that, of course, but that's really cool. All really fun artwork. And of course, the Forgotten King seems like the big bad. Might have thought maybe it would be Count Dracula as the big bad, but of course that was not the case. You see the nameplate down there. We got some extra hands, got an extra head, kind of a more stoic head, more aggressive head, which I like. Very cool stuff. And of course a stand. I don't know if you can see it in there, but a stand in there as well. Really cool figure. We're going to dive into it. It's one of those, the packaging is so nice. I kind of hate, opening it up, but that's what we're doing. That's the point of the channel. It's not to view closed boxes, right? We're unboxing this stuff. We're going to see what it's about. And very, very cool. I think I've got 6 of these guys now, and 2 to go. And then a second wave is already up for pre-order, as well as a third wave. So if you want to jump in on these, now is the time. Over on Big Bad Toy Store, there's several figures that you can still pick up. And I'm probably going to keep this box because I do like that comic strip. I do want to read the comic strip. And again, I haven't looked these over super closely. We got our weapons there, very cool, and the stand. I like that a lot. Very nice. Oh, oh, well, check that out. Got his nameplate. I do like that a lot. Very, very cool stuff. So these are a little bit more on the expensive side, as I was talking about. But with all this stuff, it doesn't seem like it's a waste of money, right? I think that's the point. Operation Monster Force there with the two pegs. Count Dracula. I like that a lot. I like the purple background there. Very cool. Get rid of that. Of course, we got the sword. Very cool Dracula sword. I like it. So like I said, you have to vote with your wallet on this stuff. If this stuff is a little out of your price range, I totally get it. But looking at this, I'm like, you know what? It may be expensive, but I like it. It's cool. And if chances are for me, if something is cool enough, I'll try to find a way to get it. Now, I know that's not always possible. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but I do like these a lot. So we'll get these hands out of here. As most of you know, I'm not the biggest fan of a bunch of extra hands. I think it's a little bit of a waste of accessories. Sometimes it's cool, and in this case, like, you might want to put a kind of a menacing looking hand on him. But you need a gripping hand because we got to grip that sword. We got to hold on to the sword. Okay, tight joints here. That's pretty common. All right. Kind of move these around a little bit. See the articulation. He may have chest articulation. I can't tell because the shirt's obviously a piece of rubber and it's kind of covering it up, but feels like he does. I feel like he does. Maybe. I don't know. That's one of those things where they give articulation, but unless you cut that off, there's no way to test it out. So what are you supposed to do? I'm gonna set the tray down there so that I can plug him into the stand. Hopefully get this guy to stand up. All right, fits on the stand pretty well, as we would expect. Look at that in the shot. Oh man, how cool does that look? I like it. Like it a lot. Get the sword. Actually get him off the stand because I want to put the sword in his hand and kind of move around this guy a little bit. But very cool figure. Very cool figure. Like I said, I wasn't sure. I had like 5 of these in my pile of loot over on Big Bad. And, it's one of those things when you're doing that, you're just hoping for the best. But I feel like these would go well with your G.I. Joes. I feel like these would go well with your Marvel Legends, right? Like, it would make sense if you're building an Operation Monster Force to include some other characters that might work. Maybe Blade would work in this line. If you have a Marvel Legends Blade, if you have a Moon Knight, I feel like you can always throw Deadpool into almost anything. But yeah, I dig this a lot. Of course, we got the menacing head. Let's see how easy we can take that off. Pretty easy to pop on and off there. And we'll put the mean head on. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, let's try that again. Well, I think that works. That's on good enough. Close enough to be dangerous, I'd say. So, pretty good articulation, but not overly articulated. Easily posed. So I think sometimes with the articulation you can go too much and that makes the figure a little hard to stand up. But I do like that stand. And I think what's cool about that stand is if you lined all these up right here, how cool would that look? And that's kind of my plan. I'm hoping to get all these. I know in Series 2, which they're calling Season 2, which I do like that too. I think sometimes you got to make your toy line a little bit different. Make it seem different. Make it seem fun, and you do stuff like that, it'll help you stand out, and it'll help more people want to dive in and buy your figures. And getting the stands, getting all these characters. There's a character called the Donner Party in Season 2, which I think is a cool figure. And there's a bunch of other cool figures here in Season 1. The Forgotten King, which will be coming up. Declan Van Helsing, which will be coming up. And, of course, the Delta Red characters and the Sleepwalker characters. We got two, I think it's 2 Delta Reds, I believe. I can look at the box here. So we got 2 Delta Reds and 3 Sleepwalkers. I don't own all of them, but I have most of them. I think there's 2 I'm still missing. So, but I'll be getting those soon. But also, too, I mentioned this in a video I did the other day. Fresh Monkey Fiction is also doing Naughty or Nice, the Santa Claus line. So maybe your Krampus would fit into this line. They're the same figures. Are they the same scale? Not sure, but I bet they would be. Your Barbarian Santa might fit in well. Even a regular Santa or a Goblin King Santa might join up with Operation Monster Force and team up with Count Dracula to take down the Forgotten King. And I think that's, to me, like how you build these collections. It's not so much that you're playing with them, right? But you want to... This is how I would play with them if I still had my stuff available to me. And to me, that's what makes this so cool. And, of course, Count Dracula is a public domain character, but I think they did a good job of where you can easily identify, okay, that's Count Dracula, but he doesn't look like Bela Lugosi or any of those. He definitely has his own look, but definitely a fun character. I'm excited for this one. I was excited to unbox it. I kind of bumped it ahead on everything I have because I was really kind of curious how it would go, and it exceeded my expectations. An absolutely epic figure. Not a ton of accessories, but enough that it, to me, is exactly what it needs. The sword, the extra head, the extra hands, and the stand. I would say that that's pretty well perfect for me. So definitely a great figure, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. And definitely something I would like to see more of. If you enjoy this line, if you collect this line, let me know in the comments or tweet me at TB Toycast that you enjoy these figures. Of course, we have new TB Toycast YouTube videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. New unboxing videos, and of course the TB Toycast podcast every Thursday, where we have a different main event and we dive into different news and pickups and things like that that excite us in the toy world. And we've covered a lot of fun stuff over the years on the TB Toycast podcast, including how about this one? This is a long one, long time ago. Marvel Secret Wars. We covered the original Secret Wars line early on, one of the first lines we ever covered, but it was definitely a fun one to cover. Maybe we'll cover it again soon. It's been so long, I feel like we definitely could. And now Marvel, with Hasbro, of course, is making a Secret Wars line. Inspired by the original one, so which is really, really fun. So check that out, Marvel Secret Wars, over on TB Toycast. And check out all the great videos I've done. I've done a lot of fun videos on a lot of different lines over here. I'm trying to make it as different as I can, from retro Spawn to The Simpsons to WWE Mattel Elite and everything in between. I'm trying to do different stuff. I'm trying to make it fun so that everybody can find hopefully something that they enjoy and something they can dive into. And that to me is all what it's about, including on Christmas Day. I did one on Santa Batman. If you guys enjoyed that one, it was a great figure. One of my absolute favorite DC Multiverse figures, actually. It's a really fun one, totally different, but unique, and that's what it's about. So the Santa Batman figure, you can find that over on YouTube. But thank you guys. I appreciate you checking out the channel. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up if you can. That definitely helps me out, helps me reach more people, and more videos to come every single week. That's Count Dracula. This is the TB Toycast YouTube channel, and we will see you guys in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shop. Baby Savage, I'm the queen.